when you're setting goals, there's 3 things that I like to implement and break down to my clients or to other people that are watching this video, because a lot of people will set goals and they're not very, very specific. You have to be specific. People come to me, and like I mentioned earlier, 99.99% of people that come to me, when I ask them the question, why do you want to invest in property? What do you want in property? You know, how much passive income do you want? They don't have a clue. They're not specific. They're broad. They're saying, I just want to be financially free. Now, when you set goals, you need to be super specific so you know where you're going. There's no point saying, oh, I want to lose weight. That's my goal for fitness, for health. I want to lose weight. What does that mean? I want to lose weight. How much do you want to lose? When do you want to lose it by? How much percent of body fat do you want to lose? And how much percent of muscle do you want to put on? You know, it's like saying, I want to run. Okay, how many kilometers do you want to run? Because maybe you haven't run in a long time. How many kilometers do you need to run? Or what's the goal? What's the end goal? You want to do a half marathon? Okay, beautiful. I want to compete in a half marathon by this X amount year. I want to have a coach on my team to help me get the exact, you know, very, very specific, all the way down to what you need to achieve that goal. You might need coaches. You might need people in front on your team. So these are things you have to be very specific so you know what you want. And then you scale it down. Because if you're very specific, then you can break it down specific of what you need to do from, like I touched before, from 25 years all the way down to 1 month. This becomes fun because it's scalable and you can achieve it. Now, when you're very specific of what you want, the thing that's going to not stop you from achieving your goal is emotion, attaching why to your goal. That's the only thing that can honestly keep driving you towards your goal, is your why. Now, this is super important, and this is something that I use a lot of passion when I write my goals, and I put a lot of why to it, and I think about it. And the majority of the time when I'm attaching something, that why, that emotion, attachment to that goal, it's got to do with other people, not myself. For example, you know, I want a certain amount of passive income from my property portfolio. And that's because I want to live life on my terms, and I want to put my kids, my family, through the best education that I can possibly be. And I want to give them the things that we didn't get given as kids. Now, I don't want to spoil them, of course, but I want to give them the life, you know, that they deserve. You know, I want to be able to, you know, fund their education. I want to be able to put them in good curriculum activities if they want to. I want to give them the best food, organic food. I want to give them supplements or, you know, things that can help them to live a longer life. So I started attaching things to that. And when I vision the goal, or when I review these goals, which I do every quarter, which I'll talk about later on in the video, you know, I start implementing that. And when I start falling off the wagon, when I start, you know, losing my desire or stop seeing the vision, if I go back and I look at that goal and I look at the why and I read that why, the power that comes from inside fuels you even more. So when you start attaching other people, because you'll do stuff more for other people than what we'll do for ourselves. It's a human nature. So when we start touching people that are our loved ones, and we start touching other people in society because we want to help, contribute, donate a certain amount of money, or, you know, make a difference in this world, and you vision that and that fuels you, you say, you know what, I'm not going to let these people down. I want to give them everything. So you put so much emotion, why? And you can keep going, hammering at that why. And it gets deep. There's a thing called the 7 whys, but we'll talk about it in another video. Now, number one thing a lot of people do, and it's kind of shits me, I'm gonna say, but is they don't set massive goals. And what I mean by that, I want you to think big. Big, where you say, you know what, Jesus Christ, I'm not even sure if I could even achieve that. And be like, why am I going to even write that down if I think I can't even achieve that? You've got to change your perspective. You've got to change your mind. Because, you know, a lot of people that set massive goals, especially, I was reading a Forbes magazine, and they were talking about the wealthiest people on the planet. You know, that own companies, that are, you know, that set massive goals, have achieved, you know, big significant things in their life. You know, they set goals so massive, and those goals, they fell short by, you know, from 2 to 9%. Now, if I set a goal massive that I can't achieve, I'll rather set a goal up here and fail here than set a goal too low and achieve it very easy. And be content and say, you know what, I achieved that goal because you didn't think big enough. The higher you put that goal, the goal's here, and it's so far from where you are. You know, if you aim here, if you finish here, but your expectations were here, you destroyed that goal by whatever it is by a certain percent. So you want to set goals that are massive goal, but you have to be realistic. If you're starting off and you've got a business and you're starting off your business and say, I want to be $1 billion company, but you're not making, 6 figures, you got to start scaling that down. You got to bring that goal back. You got to be realistic. Maybe start with 7 figures. You want to be $1 million company, then you start, implementing more goals as you go. And $1 million can be very a far way out from where you are if you haven't even made 6 figures yet. So you start implementing goals that are, that are massive, that scare you, but you know that it's going to keep you accountable, and it's something that is still reachable, but it's still massive. It's something that scares you. Because I'd rather fail and be higher than my expectations than meet my expectations and just say, you know what, I've reached the goal. Because you never know what you can do. And the human mind is crazy. The subconscious mind can play funny things on you. And especially as you're going down this track of setting goals and growing as a person, having emotion attached to those goals, being very specific, strategic, things will start to happen. So what I want to touch on is reviewing your goals. So you want to review your goals every quarter. So 4 times a year. So you can do one on the financial year, then you can do it 3 months from then you can do it your New Year resolutions, then you can do it again. So just do it, do it every quarter. Or you can do it in Januaries, you can do it your Junes, and then you can do it in between. So you can do your Januaries, you can do your Marches or Aprils, and then you can do your Junes, and then you can do, your Octobers, etc. You can do whatever how you want to do it, but do it 4 times a year. I like to review my goals 4 times a year. So I set calendar reminders. So it's super important. So I'll write this down. Review goals 4 times a year, per year. And use a calendar, Google Calendar, or whatever calendar you want to use, your phone. So put reminders on. Okay, I'm going to set my goals, I'm going to review them. I'm not going to add new goals, and I might tick off some goals that I've actually achieved. And as you're going down this journey, you start developing new ideas, new things that you need to achieve. And I like to as well, which I want to do another part to this, because that's another thing that we've got to keep a track of is your 1 month and your 3 month goals, which are super important to help you get there even faster. So stay tuned.